Roger. Go for deploy.
Alrighty, gang. Welcome back to Adventure It Radio. I am back.
Bill is back.
I am back, and I'm back in the hot seat.
He's back in the hot seat.
Yes.
He's Mr. Primary host of the podcast.
Yeah. Had my time off. Had my sucky little flu day off, which I called. So now it's one even, 1-1. You've
correct.
missed one. I've missed one.
Seth
Is that
and,
right?
You did Seth and I did Dave.
Oh no, I've done. It's two. I'm up.
No,
I've
you're
got
up,
one in
you
the
are
can.
up.
I've got one in the can.
So
I
you
might
did-
have next week off actually.
Yeah. So you did Seth
Seth Shostak and Mike Dowd.
and Mike Dowd. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, and I did Dave. Yeah, that's right.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I'm back. So this
Bill's
shows a little bit from me and Tommy, a bit of a catch up. Tommy talks a bit about his book, which is cool, and some basically the 10 Commandments of mental health. So you guys are going to love it. As far as sponsors go, guys, we are sponsored by Audible.
We are sponsored by Audible.
Our audiobook warehouse. So today I've been listening to, for example, Start With Why. Start With a Why by Simon Sinek. It's all about why all your branding and marketing and everything that you put out there should be about the real reason why you're doing things, not the how you do or the what you do.
Yep.
So, for example, Apple were a disruptive company that wanted to change the industry that they found themselves in, and that's what people gravitated towards, not the fact that they have shiny phones and cool computers. That's part of the how and the what they do.
Yep.
But the why they do it is why people gravitate to Apple and why people aren't Dell people or...
So why do they do it?
Why do they do what?
Why did Apple do what they do?
So they wanted to change the computer industry.
Oh,
So
okay.
they wanted,
Yeah,
they're
And they did.
Yeah, and they've also they've revolutionized the phone industry.
100%.
They've revolutionized the music industry with iTunes.
Yep.
So everything that they've done has been challenging the status quo.
That's great.
And that's what they've always portrayed.
Yep.
And that's what people aren't. Like I use Dell for example. People aren't Dell people.
No.
You don't have, I'm a Dell guy.
Yeah.
But I would say I'm an Apple guy.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I am.
Yep.
I only use Apple products. So and that's because. I suppose I connect with what they do, and their shit's shiny and it does look cool.
Yeah, it looks cool.
But yeah, so Start With a Why. I've been listening to Start With a Why.
That's
so
good.
that's a great audiobook. There's a bunch of other audiobooks that I've got queued up. I'm still listening to The Silk Roads, the history of the New World.
Yep.
Basically about the history of Asia. Got Crush It by Gary Vaynerchuk lined up in there, and got a bunch of cool books that I've been going through. So Audible's an awesome service, guys. Head to www.audibletrial.com
/ADVF.
/ADVF for one free audiobook and 30 days to try it out.
Guys, we are also sponsored by... Oh, man.
We are
when I-
also sponsored, boy.
We're sponsored by Sean Connery.
Hey, we're sponsored by.
We are sponsored by Sean Connery, who likes to shake our shirt right up the ass. That's terrible. So we are sponsored by Quash Creative Guys, which is an Elwood-based freelance design firm run by our good old mate Shawnee Marsh. I reached out to the big dog recently to get me some help on my prospecting website and stuff, and he was more than happy to help me, so it's fantastic. His sole aim is to solve business challenges with creative solutions, whether that solution is a new website, logo, or marketing strategy. If you come to him with a problem, he'll work out the most effective way to solve it. And guys, the offer is, if you mention Adventure Fit Radio, Shawnee will give you a free basic SEO report on your website or feedback on your existing brand when you get into contact with the big dog. So head to www.creative.com. Mention Adventure Fit Radio, and Shawnee will help you out with the rest. Bill, who obviously we are sponsored by Week. I just jumbled the words up there.
Sound like Yoda there, but
sponsored.
we are also sponsored by Adventure Fit Travel Guys. So we have 1 week remaining on our Koh Tao Thailand trip. So make sure you get on the website if you want a holiday over in Koh Tao. We've got lots of cool stuff going on over there. Training with Dimitri Klokov, and it's going to be amazing. We just got back from Kokoda. That was epic. We're about to release next year's Kokoda trip very soon, and lots of other cool stuff coming up. So head to www.adventurefittravel.com and use the code word radio for 10% off any and all trips. And here's the show.
Here's the show. Yeah.
We're on before. You've downgraded me heavily.
You. Yeah.
Fucking hell. I haven't seen you in 3 weeks and I've gone down 5 notches.
Yeah, that's right. That's true.
Jesus
I was
Christ.
going to say number 1, but, you know.
Yeah. I would have just
What's
said
after
get out.
number 1? Yeah.
I would have just get the fuck out of my house.
Fuck out of my house. What's after number 1? Before one.
Minus 10.
Minus. And then it's just fuck with you. It's gold.
What's been happening, man?
Well, I've started a YouTube channel. Pretty pumped about that. All the mental health stuff finally kicking into gear, trying to promote the book. So that's exciting. And it's a slow process. I reckon I'm gonna, in a year or two, I'm going to look back on the first video and go, what a crock of shit that was. Like, it's
You look a little bit frazzled.
Oh, mate.
You look slightly frazzled.
Yeah, that's right.
Fraz City.
I'm nervous talking about it. Like, the first video, I'm already
I was shaking watching it.
Yeah,
I'm like,
right.
he's shaking. What? Do I have to shake to watch this? Hang on a second. I need to shake a little bit more.
Why is he cock shaking? So, like,
Why am I shaking my cock right now?
That's me. I'm shaking. God, 38 seconds and we're already talking about cocks. It's just embarrassing. Literally embarrassing. So,
Yeah. Nah, it's fucked. I went normally 95% of the time I'll turn the microphones on in this position that we're in now and I won't be nervous.
Nah.
And then I had this editorial thing. I don't even really know what it is, but I can't remember what it is. I remember looking at it and going, this would be a good opportunity. It was a chick that had a magazine and it was about entrepreneurs and she wanted to write a thing on put a bit of me in this article or whatever, or I can't even remember, or no, make it into a podcast. Anyway, basically what she needed me to do was gave me like 8 questions and said, record 30 minutes or 25, 30 minutes on these 8 questions and we'll cut snippets and place them in here and there and we'll use the quotes for this and that or whatever.
Yeah.
And as soon as I turned the mic on, I was fucking shitting myself. I was like a total gimp.
It's insane.
Yeah,
it's actually
really
insane.
weird.
Well, I mean, you and
Is it
I
just
were...
because you're the only person? You're the only voice that's talking?
But even though... So I'll be looking at the camera and the first bit I was doing, I was just looking at the camera going, fuck.
Can you see yourself in the camera?
Out. You
Have
can.
you got so you can see, you got the video
flicked on the
screen
opposite way.
turned around?
So I can like vlog it. Yeah.
Right.
And oh, mate. I thought I was looking shit. I was talking shit. I was completely naked.
Yeah,
You know, it was just insane.
Well, you got two or three. 2 out of 3 of those points were correct.
Correct, yeah, exactly, yeah. So I was naked, but I wasn't shitting myself. But it's slowly getting there. I feel the one I put out today, I feel like I'm really happy with. And yeah, it's going to be a journey. Like I put so many editing and effects and stuff in the first couple of videos, and they just ruined it. Like they did not need to be that, you know.
No, you don't really need any of that shit.
Nah.
Like look at our show.
I know.
Remember if you go back to our.
And we're killing it.
If you go back to, we're the greatest podcast.
Best podcast.
We're earning so much money.
We're fucking killing it. And look at what we're doing.
Maybe we need to edit more.
Yeah, that's right.
But,
that's true. We actually do.
No, but remember how at the start of our show we were like we had all those crazy jingles and fucking all that stuff, and we wanted to put all that in the show, and then like, but it just sounded fucking lame as.
Terrible.
Like people just want to have real, authentic words.
Agree.
You know.
Yeah.
And then obviously you can fancy things up to some degree, but you don't need bells and whistles to not the content that you're trying to put out.
No, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not trying.
People
to
just want to hear my story, which I think is great because I just want to. That's all I want to do. It's just literally to market the book, but also market the podcast and market the aspect of life I want to shift, which is just make it that. So you and I, we talk about chicks we find hot, things we want to do in life, food we like to eat, and then we also talk about anxiety.
I like how you said chicks that we find hot first. Yeah,
as opposed to chicks we don't find hot.
Because it's like it's probably like a 85% chicks we find hot, 7% whatever you said next, 3% the next, and then
48% food. Yeah. So not necessarily that order.
So you've got what's the go though? You've got 10 years of content on mental health. You think? You can talk about it forever.
Infinity. I've got the next 27 videos done, organised. Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, I could talk about this stuff for ages. Like, I absolutely love it. It was all I researched in those periods. You know, when I was going through it all, and I've got the next 10 or so videos are like the 10 tools, specifically how to recover and abate your anxiety symptoms.
Yep.
Which I really feel are objectively significant. So they didn't just work for me. I feel like these are known truths that like I've just sort of compiled together upon my own discovery and my own learning, but they just will work if you apply them.
So go on though. Tell us the 10 steps. Like what do you got?
And a rundown. Does that book say Homo Deuce?
Yeah.
What's that about? What are you trying to explore?
It's not about the 10 steps of the 10 steps to abating your anxiety.
Okay, yeah. All right. So the first step is diary and gratitude writing. So diary writing helps to logically make sense and rationalize the spiraling thoughts of anxiety and the intrusive thoughts. Gratitude writing helps to take that personalization of anxiety out of the perspective. So when you start thinking about the great things in your life, you stop thinking about all the shit things internally. It really, that's what helps me so much.
Was it gratitude journaling?
Hey?
Gratitude journaling?
Yeah, so if I write down like 5 things, they're all not related to me. I make sure of that. I mean, you can. I've written that in the book that you can be grateful for those aspects in your life. It's just, you do it from a very honest way. But I often write things about like the friendships in my life, like obviously my close mates, and let's say for example, I'm grateful for Bill and I becoming mates because we've started a great business together. And it's really fun and it's enjoying. And then from that, I start thinking about you, and I start thinking about the podcast, and start forgetting about I'm worried about this. I'm worried about this. It just takes the you out of the situation.
Yeah, I think there's neurological pathways that get strengthened as well. Like, how
it's habitual. It's positive behavior.
Yeah. So like I read I remember reading an article about gratitude journaling pretty recently, which was really interesting. So, and it talked about, like it's the skill of like riding a skateboard or surfing on a surfboard or doing a snatch or
you just get better
perfecting your running technique. Obviously, every time you practice that, your neurological pathways get faster. Of
course.
The process gets faster.
Motor unit recruitment.
Yeah, that's right. And it's the same thing with thinking happy thoughts. That's why it's a negative spiral.
Everything.
Yeah, that's right. So I think that's a big part of it too, like the making sure that you get off to a good start, and then that you firing those neural pathways of like happy thoughts
100%.
to continue into the day.
And the body, I look at everything in my life now, or in the case of humanity, as like it's a from an evolutionary perspective. So like our body is made to learn and adapt because through natural selection and Darwinian principle, that's how we've survived. So if everything's a learned behavior, it has to be because that's how we survive. So we can literally learn to be happy and love life. That's my whole thing. But number 2 is understanding what anxiety specifically is and how it affects you. So I did a video on this, actually. It was one of the first videos, and it was talking about how the fact that anxiety is an emotion. It's not a disease or whatever. It's not a disorder. It can become those things. But the root subject matter is that it is an emotion that rises and falls based on external and internal circumstances. And the more you understand that, the more you can put into place measures to see how your anxiety specifically affects you. So you can start to understand rational and irrational fear. Rational fear is when there is a genuine danger around and your anxiety is triggered because you need to get the fuck out of there. Like if you're in a shark tank, of course you're going to be anxious. Those things could eat you. But if you're about to speak publicly, or you're going to go speak up to a chick, or you're going to sit
Speak
in
to
a...
a shark?
Yeah, fucking shark. Or if you're going to, if you're just sitting at home and you start to get worried, there's no genuine danger around, so the fear is illusionary in that sense. And it's good to understand that because you can do your diary writing and all that sort of stuff. Third is the worst case scenario test. So when you get a fear or when you get a what if thought, always take it to the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario, I'll give you guys the answer. The worst case scenario in anything is that you die, and then when you die, you're dead. So it's all good. It really doesn't matter, depending on what you believe.
Well, my that's an interesting one because with Daryl, my psychologist, we've done the worst case scenario stuff a lot, and mine always goes back to being lonely. That's my rock bottom worst case scenario. Everything that leads back to loneliness. So, but mine's a different anxiety to yours.
That's right,
So social anxiety a lot of the time will lead back to, all right, well, if this person fucking thinks that what you said is silly, what's the worst thing that can happen? And you're like, oh, well, they might not like me, and what's the worst thing that happen? Then, well, their friends might not like me, and I might.
Happens?
And then it ends up getting down to the point where you're alone. Yeah. Because like solitary confinement is the most it's the worst thing we can do to people.
So you have the specific fear of being confined in a space?
Not
being alone?
No, not what I mean. Just like being lonely for the rest of your life. Like lonely like you think you probably thought of it the first time, sad and lonely,
But that is just a mindset.
But that's with social anxiety. That's like what it gets back to a lot of the time.
Yep.
Is loneliness. Like people, the worst thing that you can be is like people won't love me. I won't have someone. I'll be lonely forever. That's like one of the things with social anxiety.
Yeah.
And
but that's a fair thought.
Yeah, and it makes sense because like loneliness in that regard, like when I was talking about solitary confinement, like as to like the worst people on the planet, what we do to punish them the worst that we can when they fuck up in jail or whatever is put them in solitary confinement.
Yeah.
It's the worst thing you can do to a human being, be that lonely by yourself. So I think it's that's another big one for like that worst case scenario that especially that me and Daryl have been working through. It's like because my worst case scenario is not death.
Yeah.
It always for me goes to like loneliness, which is strange.
But the worst case scenario, but I look at it in terms of go to the worst case scenario, and when it is the worst case scenario, it's death. And when you die, you don't even know you're dead. So it's actually not that bad. And for me, solitary confinement doesn't scare me. Again, this is just different mindsets, but solitary confinement doesn't.
No, but mine wasn't solitary confinement though.
Yeah,
that's just like an
let's
example.
Just say for people that do have that fear, solitary confinement, I think, is just like, it's the thought of being alone, or you could look at it as the thought of just hanging with yourself.
Yeah. So my one was like, not having basically the loneliness would be like not having a family, not having friends, and being that hermit basically, socially alone, rather than like being actually solitary.
Yeah, literally genuinely alone in a box.
yeah.
All you can do is just plug away.
Which you would, consistently. And it'd be great. I'd be having a great time.
And that's the worst case scenario test.
Yeah.
The worst case scenario of anything, guys, is being alone, and when you're alone, you just masturbate. It's just
masturbate your way to happiness.
I've tried that.
Good. That's a good point, Tommy.
Yeah.
So that's number 3.
Let's go.
What's number 4?
But so even that, it just it shows how much of all this stuff is just being lost in thought. It's like, oh fuck, if I'm alone, then I'll never have kids and I'll never have family. It's like yeah. But the fact of the matter is, right now, you're just sitting on a couch talking to a mate. Like it's just it all comes back to that sort of stuff. Number 4 is it's called Face Your Fear Head On. So it just talks about...
Is this dare response kind of stuff?
Dare. Yep, this is very much inspired by Barry McDonough, the great man. So it's just doing the complete opposite of what those what-if thoughts are telling you, what the anxiety is telling you, and almost getting excited by it. And Darry McDonough.
Darry
McDonough. He'll be listening. Sorry, McDonough. Barry McDonough's Dare Response, which is a 4-step guide on how to face your fear, is a fantastic book, and I speak about it a lot in my book. It basically is diffuse, allow, run towards, and engage. So it just diffuse the situation. What am I worried about? Allow it, let it pass through, run towards. If it's starting to get you panicky, just do it. Get really excited about it, and then re-engage back in life. So that's one of the most important ones, I feel. Number 5 is going to test me. I think it's open up and be really honest about about what you're going through to people around you.
Right.
That one is an obvious one, but it's tough to do.
So basically getting things off your chest.
Yep. They did a study with prisoners of war from the Second World War from the Jews in Poland and stuff that were in the camps. And this is going to sound like a very obvious answer, but the Jews
just masturbating all day, were they?
Yeah, they were just masturbating all day. I don't see why.
Fuck, we can't make jokes about prisoners of war, can we?
That's true.
Let's just rewind that.
Masturbate all day. So they did a study, and basically the people that suffered greatly in the Second World War in terms of prisoners and all this sort of stuff had a much better and faster recovery rate when they spoke about it than people that didn't. That's just the basic premise of it.
Definitely hard for people, though.
Oh, it's so hard.
I think...
it's so hard.
Yeah, like for me now, I'm happy to talk to anyone and everyone. Like I met a dude at a co-working space today I was chatting to and told him how I was going to Collingwood tomorrow. We were talking about Collingwood. I'm like, I'm going to Collingwood tomorrow. Actually, my psychologist is there. And that's just saying my psychologist. That's all I said. Could have been for anything, really, but could have been sports psychologist. But I mean, as an example, like I'll tell the guy at the cafe fucking that I have trouble with mental health stuff, whatever. It's not an issue.
Nah,
but
totally
the first time that I had to talk to anyone, I told my mum how I had anxiety. I was fucking like probably 26.
Yep.
And I'd been thinking about it for a while, and I hadn't never... probably 28.
Yeah.
And I'd never bitten the bullet because I was like, it was a big thing for me at the time. And then when I was Googled what's it called? Beyond Blue.
Yeah.
And then find your practitioner. They have a little link there, and then you find a person. And I had a phone number in my phone, and I hadn't called it for like 2 weeks, and I was just looking at the number, and then I'd pull it out of my phone, and then I'd go to call them, like, nah, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
And then I end up having, I was having that rough of a trot that I end up being that badly inside my head that I pulled my car over on the freeway into an emergency lane and fucking made the phone call.
Yeah.
I was like, right, I just need to do it now. I got this rush of, but for me, it was the fucking hard thing to do.
Oh, it's so hard.
It was really, I don't know why it was so hard. And now it's
because
the easiest thing in the world.
It's like, you feel so vulnerable. You feel so like any presence of ego, which is a confidence booster, is just completely gone when you admit to someone that you're struggling. Because it's like you're using them as a crutch and you're using them as help, especially in a sort of culture you and I are kind of faced with today. I really feel like it's still there, that kind of like Australian masculine thing of drinking beers and just not talking about that shit, you know. So that's another one that I want to change that perspective, in that just because you're boys, just because you like going out and playing footy and talking shit, it doesn't mean that like you can't talk about this stuff either, you know. Yeah. But anyway, like it's tool number 5 is open up to your friends and your family, or anyone, like you said before. And it's an obvious one, but it's a point that I want to reiterate because it's hard to do, really hard.
Yeah.
It took me, there was a few, I didn't open up completely when I first started talking about it. There was still things I was hiding, but now I'm literally an open book. But yeah, so tool number 6 is challenge yourself every day, which is kind of coincides with the re-engage back with life. So one of the best things to distract yourself is just to put challenges in place where you can work towards, and it's very mentally stimulating. You and I have little things. It's kind of like, cold showers and putting into place meditation. And anytime you get a little bit of an irrational fear response, you get that moment, you do it. Like you go up and you take the deep breath before a WOD in a CrossFit class, or you do whatever, you seek out new challenges.
Wouldn't it be like, it would work in the fact of like trying new things, as in like going rock climbing
that's right,
and getting a new hobby, and then trying to master a new skill. So you have
perfect.
You have a bit of play in your life.
Yeah, exactly.
Or a bit of you time rather than just always being fucking work
home
all the
time.
And, yeah.
It's definitely to do with like the
learning
the
a new skill, or taking on a challenge.
About learning an instrument.
Yeah,
because that's something that I get a lot of enjoyment from. I know a lot of other people do, and you have to put a lot of time to it. So it's good. Number 7 is meditation. Best thing in the world, literally hands down. Can't understand why people don't do it in this day and age. Sam Harris always talks about it's going to be, like brushing your teeth in 50 years' time. Totally agree. Could not imagine where my life would be without meditation, basically because it just teaches you about self-awareness. If you know on a very deep level of who you are, you're going to know how you react to things. You're going to know how you respond to different people, and you can work off that. It just creates the best foundation for life to move forward in a positive direction.
So for people that aren't meditators, so me 2 years ago, I wouldn't have known, just a challenger, I wouldn't have known.
Always.
I wouldn't have known what you meant by that.
Okay.
So to learn more about yourself by sitting down, closing your eyes, and focusing on your breathing.
Yep.
Like how do you go about doing that?
All right. So we're talking about mindfulness meditation in that scenario, where it's just focusing on your breath. I can't remember what the stat is, but it's something ridiculous so your mind is made to think, and with the ever-increasing amount of distraction there is these days with websites and social media and TV and
Billboards.
fast cars and just everything, your mind is constantly thinking externally, and it gives you no time to think about what's actually going on with who you are. So by just taking a step back and just getting rid of all the shit out there, just spending some time with yourself and focusing on your breathing, I think of it as you start to just kind of get these thoughts about what you did yesterday, or what you thought about a specific situation, and you start to just, when I did it, I started to write down a couple of things. I was just like, I didn't realise that after thinking about that now, I was actually quite annoyed at that, or I was actually quite happy when she said that, or I was really nervous when he told me this, and the more you do it, the faster you're able to get into these states of meditation and introspection, where you start to learn about who you are and how you work in the world as a person. And back before I meditated, I thought that I loved girls with big boobs and blonde hair, and I wanted to make AFL and everything else. I hated drinking. I thought going out with my mates would be the worst thing ever before to stop me on my AFL career. I thought that if I didn't pick up rubbish, God would punish me by, sending me to hell. And tons of other stuff, which I'm sure many of the listeners are already aware of now. But from meditating, I started to learn about myself that all of these worries and all of these habits and things I had in place were based on external factors and external cues. I mean, I'd grown up thinking that AFL was the coolest thing, probably because TV kind of said so. They're augmented as stars.
Yeah.
And I still see them as stars. I love footy, but it's not personally with me. It doesn't personally satisfy me. As does girls with big boobs and big boobs and blonde hair and all that sort of stuff. Well, it's great. There's a personality attachment, which is fantastic as well. I just like big boobs. Who am I kidding?
Yeah,
but, it's those sort of things. You start to learn
Have you been lying about everything in the last 3 minutes?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
That was a bold-faced lie.
Genuine lie. Yeah. It was a genuine lie. But, you begin to learn about yourself. And on the other side of that, you learn about what scares you. And meditation showed me that I really get scared about the afterlife, and I used to really get scared about sexuality and mental illness and all these uncertainties, things that you couldn't say complete yes or no to either of them. They weren't certain, and that's what anxiety kind of comes to. But it helped me because I knew all this stuff about myself, and then the rest of the tools came into place, and I could start to mold my life to where I could get rid of fear. So that's why meditation, I think, is fantastic.
No, it was a good answer.
Yeah.
For me, it's a really strange one because I heard Jared say the same thing about his Vipassana style meditation and 1 or 2 hours a day, and you don't really get past skimming over the surface until you're doing longer style meditations. For me, I don't think I've ever had what you just talked about with meditation and what Jared talked about with meditation. Because for me, still for me now, that's still a little bit confusing.
Yeah.
But I've heard many people talk about what you're talking about. But for me, I'm trying to think about only my breath. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That's the way to do it.
I don't meditate for more than 20 minutes. So, but I do hear a lot of people. I suppose I'm just really young and early into my meditation journey, really. Yeah. But
it took 10 months for me before I had my first.
But how long do you meditate for if you're going to be introspectively looking at yourself? I remember Jared talking about the fact that if it's 20 minutes, then you're just kind of trying to calm the front of your mind, the stuff that you're thinking about right now. But all the deep-seated stuff that's in your subconscious and it's stuck right deep in there was, you had to get an hour into meditation to kind of tick those boxes. Is that what you're talking about? Or what do you mean?
100%. I couldn't agree more with him. For me, it takes about 45 minutes. And I've been meditating every day for the past couple of weeks now, and it's just gone up another level. It doesn't take that long for me. He thinks it's all about 20 minutes, half an hour. For me, it's about 15 minutes before I start to notice those first subconscious thoughts. And it's getting to the stage now where, and this is going to sound a bit trippy, so I don't mean it to sound trippy, but I'm going to explain it the way it is. I start to hallucinate a little bit. So I get to the stage now where, so I meditated yesterday for about an hour, and by the 40-minute mark or so, I don't obviously really know, but I get to this state where my eyes are dead closed, but I'm very present and I am at one with my subconscious. So I start to see things, and I just see things coming around, but I always see this room, I'm just in this open room, and it's it's very grey, and it's like an infinity. It's like, have you seen Bruce Almighty? Where
I have seen Bruce Almighty. I can't.
Old mate is just cleaning. What's his name? Fucking hell, Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman,
he's just cleaning with a mop. Yeah. It's kind of like that room,
right?
But it's just completely grey.
Yeah, Morgan Freeman there.
Yeah, Morgan Freeman. He's literally there. Yeah.
He's white suit and all.
He's just whacking himself off.
Yeah, it's a big black face in a white room.
Yeah, it's a big black face right in front of him. So I'm just looking out into this room of infinity, and it's just like the most blissful state, and it's just these thoughts that will come into me of just things that I remembered, or but they're not checklists. They're things that I, as a person, should have done when I didn't. One example was one of my friends. This is actually in a float, but one of my mates, she was dealing with horrendous amounts of anxiety, but she was dealing with it in a negative way. So she was backlashing at people, and people weren't really around her anymore, and all this sort of stuff. And I got a little bit frustrated at her as well. So I reacted emotively when I'm all about trying to teach proactivity. So just noticing thought and responding to it without emotion, as for what it is. But I didn't in this scenario, and she reached out to me, and I just didn't respond. But in this float, I reached that room, and this thought came into me. The first thought was, oh my God, look how beautiful the trees are, which I still don't really understand. I kind of feel like it was...
Trees in the room.
Yeah, there wasn't trees, but it was kind of like, look how beautiful your mind is. That's what I take it as.
Yeah, I shouldn't give a shit. I'm sure there's the rooms, there's no parameters on what the room looks like. Yeah.
It's just always different.
Yeah.
But number 2 was reach out to her. And I did, and she kind of said, when I responded to her, she was like, I was just thinking about you. That's, it's amazing you said that. And I don't look into that stuff too much. I don't look into like, oh, the universe is telling you something.
Yeah.
Like she could have been thinking about me, or she could not have been. But in any way, it was a positive response. So that's the sort of stuff that, we get all this external stimulation from the world, and that kind of influences our internal thought. But when you really take a step back and just spend some time with yourself, you bring out from under the covers the stuff that's really important in your life, and you take that shit in. There are, just as an example, I hadn't seen my mate Luke in ages, and we were hanging out. It was really good. I had a really fun time. I don't think about it too much. And then I meditated that night, and when all of the shit in my head, like all of the TV commercials and all that sort of stuff, had gone away, I just really had this great moment of just loving how
Reflection.
close he is as a friend. Yeah, it's just like those little things that they help you keep you on your path.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, and meditation is just, because of that, just the best thing in my life. Like I just, and people find oneness through religion. They say they have a deep and personal connection to God and all that sort of stuff. And I see that as exactly what I have. But I obviously, as you know, despise religion. but I think it's, fundamentally the same thing. Whatever you want to call it, just don't fucking touch kids and bomb people and shit. But yeah, so that's meditation. Right. The others just quickly.
You're doing pretty good on the 10 here.
8.
You're going pretty good on the 10 here. Yeah. What do you got? Are we up to number 9?
We're up to number 8.
Number 8.
So find a passion. So that's find a passion in life, something to work towards. Mine is obviously now hopefully trying to change the world about mental health. And my second biggest passion is obviously talking shit with you and doing the podcast.
Get out.
Yeah, get the fuck out. So it's these things you can pursue in life as like career, not necessarily career goals, but things on the side that make you just want to wake up every morning and just live life to the full. I never thought I'd be someone to sacrifice sleep, but I'm sleeping 5 hours a night at the moment. And drinking coffee. Never thought I'd drink coffee. Just to stay awake to just get shit done. Like, I just fucking love
I get like
so
that
much.
a little bit, actually.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
it's great.
But I need sleep. I need maybe if I meditated more, I wouldn't need as much sleep.
Yeah.
But I wish I could sleep for 5 hours a night is what I'm saying.
Man, same.
I wish I could sleep
dude in America,
for 4 hours a night.
Remember how he was a BJJ dude or something?
Yeah.
And he reckons he slept 4 hours a night.
Yeah.
And he just rocks it.
Yeah, a lot of people say that.
Yeah.
I remember...
the only thing is we train, so we need recovery.
Yeah, that's right. I remember my ex-girlfriend, Cap, we lived together down in Rye. What's that?
Steve.
Yeah, Steve. We lived together down in Rye, and it was a house that I'd bought for myself, and we were living in it. So I would get up at like 6 a.m. to go and go to work Monday to Friday, but Saturdays and Sundays, unless I was hungover, I'd get up at the crack of dawn just because the sun was up and I was going to do something on the house, some sort of work. I'd do something in the backyard, paint some shit, fucking cut some trees down, whatever I needed to do,
paint some shit. Paint some trees.
Paint a tree, cut it down.
Cut some paint down.
And then I would come back in at I would have done like 2 or 3 hours work, And I come back in and Cap will be in bed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, what are you fucking doing?
Yeah.
And she's like, what do you mean? I'm in bed. Fucking, I'm still sleeping.
Yeah.
I'm like, we went to bed at fucking 10 p.m.
Yeah.
You slept for 12 hours.
the fuck
like, you're
out.
wasting your
You
life.
slut.
Yeah, you're wasting your life.
You fucking bin.
I used to make it mathematically. I'm like, I've been up for 4 hours longer than you have
Yeah.
every day. That's fucking like a million hours
It's
a week.
million hours.
Yeah.
It's a million hours.
Yeah, but I wish we didn't have to sleep as much.
Yeah, same.
I want to try and figure out some sort of system that I can run off 5 or 6 hours a week.
Mate, it's meth.
I just said 5 or 6 hours a week. That is meth. I do need
Literally
meth.
meth.
Meth for that, yeah.
Just stab yourself and smoke some meth. We still show meth. Hey, Bill, how's it going? So that's basically like tool number 8. Just find your passion. Find something that just gets you up and about. And then I feel like that comes with meditation as well. Having that deep understanding of yourself so you know what you love.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I thought I loved AFL. I still love AFL, but I love
Don't
watching
lie
it.
about the big boobs again.
Yeah. No, still, I genuinely love big boobs. It's so fun.
Yeah. If you're listening and you have big boobs, send a picture to...
Send us some feedback in quotes. Basically, just send us a picture of your boobs. Sorry, Mum. Tool number 9 is distraction. It's a quick and easy little tool, like the worst case scenario test. Just when you're driving or something, when you get a what if thought, a nervous thought, just turn the music up, put your favourite song on, go for a run, read a book, do something like really easy just to get that shit out of your head. And tool number 10 is meet someone new every day. And that's something I've been aspiring to live by for the past week. Yeah, I know.
I was expecting you to say it's something that I've aspired to do for the past 6 years.
Yeah.
Every single day for the past 6 years, I've met a new person. Sorry, you've been doing it for 7 days.
So true. Yeah, literally 7 days.
It's a good one though. I
Well,
like it.
I always like doing it. I used to like to go out and speak to girls at like shopping malls and stuff because like, do you remember this?
Yeah.
Because like number one, it was going against a fear, like it was pushing against a fear, but also it was like just like meeting someone new every day, and that sparks your brain into go mode because it's taking in all this new information. But I feel like everyone struggles to a certain extent with just putting themselves out there on the street and just going, hey, how's it going? Because people just don't do that shit these days.
No.
Like people are just too self-involved, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing on their phones or whatever. And people always have places to go to, but if you just stop them and just say, hey, I just like, what are you up to? It's kind of, it puts you out of your comfort zone. And I think that's good.
Yeah.
The fundamental thing with all this shit is getting comfortable being uncomfortable.
No, fair enough. I think the last point's a really good one. I think it's kind of probably hard for a lot of people to meet a new person every day because, for example, if you go to work, because I have been able to meet a new person every day for the last 6 months really easily, because I've moved to Port Melbourne. I've got a dog now, so I'm great mates with all the dog walkers in Port Melbourne.
And all the dogs.
Yeah.
We have a criminal law against that, mate, but that's all right.
Started a new job and started a new gym and started a new co-working space. So, and I haven't really been making a point of it, but so for me it's been quite easy. My point I was trying to make was, for some people it's probably not, working 9 to 5, come home, do the shopping, whatever. It's not as easy, but if you do have the opportunity to without being a total weirdo, I think it's great. Yeah. What I've taken to doing, and this is something that sounds a little bit weird, but when I meet somebody new now, I write their name and something about them in my phone. Yeah. Straight away. If I'm going to run, so all the crew at About Life now, I pretty much have most of their names down. Really? Down pat. Yeah.
Even that super smoking chick?
I don't know Super Smoker.
Oh, okay.
No, Smoke Show 3000.
Smoke Show 3000.
I don't know.
Yeah. Smoke Show 3000.
But my co-working
Sarah,
space...
Smoke Show 3000. Smoke Show, fuck.
The thing is...
Fucked it up.
The thing is, I don't have to refer to my phone a million times to say to remember somebody's name. Yeah. If I write it down, the next time I walk into the gym or I walk into somebody somewhere, if I fucking forget their name, I can have a sneaky peek, and then once I say it once or twice, I'll remember it. Yeah. And then because it's a really good skill to have to smoke. So you stop laughing. You make me laugh.
I was laughing at sneaky peek.
So yeah, but I think once I say it once or twice, because remembering somebody's name, it's like on How to Win, like in the book How to Win Friends and Influence People. I was talking to Corey a lot about it on our Kokoda trip recently because he said to me once that there was this old guy that he knew. His uncle used to do work for him. He used to maintain his tennis courts or something. And Corey met this old gentleman who had fucking bucket loads of money, super successful in business. Can't remember exactly what he did, but he's like 70 years old. Corey met him when he was with his uncle when he was about 18 years old.
Yep.
And then he met him again, and he told him how he played cricket and this and that. And he was playing in like Country Week, which is a representative cricket thing, senior cricket thing.
It's good.
Something like that, for example. I think that's what it was. Anyway, he met this dude again about 3 years later, and he walked up to Corey and he's like, "Oh, Corey, how are you, mate? Jeez, how did you end up going in that Country Week you were telling me about?" Like,
legend.
Yeah, so... And it made an impact on Corey. Corey told me about it 10 years ago or something when we were in Thailand. Just in passing. And it stuck with me then.
Yeah.
But I've always been bad with names, so I've never really made an effort to kind of remember people's names.
Such a good thing.
Even though I feel I really value it very highly.
Yep.
So now I feel like I'll walk into a place, and it's kind of like it's a sneaky way to remember people's names, but I don't give a fuck. It's better than forgetting their names. You know what I mean?
Works.
So I literally don't look in my phone more than fucking once a day. To do it really, once or twice a day. But so it gives you the ability to go into a joint. My second day at the co-working space, walk in. "Hey, Tommy, what's going on, man? How are you? Did you see the fucking NBA yesterday?" Like,
I did, but I'm actually... My name's Dale, and I'm into hockey, so...
But
you're fine.
It just it just gets you off to a way better start and creates a better bond with people, I think.
Yeah.
And then hopefully I'll just learn skills that I'll be able to pick people's names up and then never forget them without having to write them on my phone.
The best way to do it is to just...
repeat it 3 times?
Nah, it's just to... that would help. But introduce the name 20 seconds after you've met the person. Because for the first 20 seconds, your mind is taking in all the other stuff about them.
Right.
Bill, beard, black hair, grey pants, huge cock.
I was waiting. I'm like, he's going to go something. Yeah, you went huge cock.
Mate, I got around you.
Yeah. He didn't even make a joke.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. And then, his name's fucking grey pants, big cock.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. I used to...
So if you introduce yourself 20 seconds after you meet the person, sorted.
That's good. What I also used to do back in the day, when Corey mentioned it to me years ago, like I said, it really stuck with me.
Yeah.
And the whole idea of remembering people's names and the power it has on creating better relationships. Anyway, I used to... I feel like I say people's names a lot. So, like, if I'm... like Chili, for example. Chili? From About Life.
Oh, yeah.
She introduced herself to me. So, like, I'll walk in the place now. I'm like, "Chili, yo, what's been going on?"
Yep.
And then, like, she'll walk past me. I'm like, "Chili, can you... how's my smoothie going?" Like, I'll actually...
Chili.
I say it a lot
just
more.
Just bookend the sentence.
Yeah. But I
Chili,
think...
how's my chili going, Chili?
But,
can you stop saying my name?
Yeah, I think...
Sorry, Chili.
I used to try and repeat the name a couple of times to, like, fucking tattoo it into my brain.
Do you reckon those people get annoying?
Do you reckon, are you trying to say I'm a douchebag?
Yep.
Yeah, I've definitely...
Bill's here again.
Chili. Talking about his dog.
Chili. Bill, just relax.
Yeah. So,
Sorry, Chili.
I definitely think it is a good skill, though.
Yeah, it's good.
So that's your 10.
That's my top 10.
Your 10 commandments.
So that's what I'll be going through at the moment, and then I'm going to get into... I could talk about this stuff. I mean, you and I love talking about it. And, I've got an infinity of stuff, so I can't wait to be 6 months down the track where all my shit is way more out there. And I've got like 50 videos on there. I've also got a lot more guitar videos and adventure bit videos. Just have this really awesome channel that people can go to just to learn some stuff, have a bit of fun, see some shit talk between us, and it's just going to be great. It's going to be great. So I'm pumped.
No, that's good, man.
Do you know the one fear I've been getting recently?
What's that?
Is that, fuck, I hope I don't die. Because then I would have deprived the world of this shit that I want to do. That's literally how fucked is that. But, then I meditate, and I distract myself, and then I worst case scenario.
You might be getting a little bit ahead of yourself.
I know I am. Because at the very end of the day, people are like, no one gives a fuck about that old mate bonehead that managed to cure his own anxiety.
At least you're confident.
Yeah.
That's good. And it is all positive stuff. It is all...
Well,
everyone's got to make a positive impact on the world, whether they're small, medium, fucking on the grander scale. You might end up being on the grander scale. You might be the next fucking... Mahatma Gandhi, mate.
But Mahatma Gandhi's got such a great name to it.
Yeah.
Tom Ahern is just boring as shit.
You didn't even have a nickname till about 2 years ago, mate.
Yep, that's great. And now it's the bone. But see, that still implies sex. Like, if it was Mahatma, cock in the mouth. That'd be a little,
That wouldn't work as well, would it?
Yeah.
He wouldn't have as much respect in the community.
Hey,
cock in the mouth. Mahatma cock. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right
Mark
there.
McCock.
You're absolutely right.
So, yeah, that's been me. You
All
been
right,
well?
sweet. Well, that was a good little
Yeah.
Tommy's 10 Commandments.
Tommy, yep. I like that. Tommy's 10 Commandments. Yep.
All right.
And the joke on that is that religion sucks. Nah, look, religion's all right. Do what you want with it.
Do you reckon that's why our downloads have slowed?
Because I've just started bagging religion.
Yeah.
Shit,
We've got a
I
lot of
know.
American listeners, and
Yeah, we do.
they're religious as fuck.
Yeah, they are religious. Look,
Praise the Lord.
I got nothing.
All right, well,
No,
let's
look,
leave it at
religion's good. Look, religion's good on the spiritual side. I just don't like it as a humanized institution. But that's just
No.
my opinion. So I don't,
that. That's fair enough.
yeah. But I really hope that's not why the listeners have dropped a little bit. How's that we just said our listeners have dropped?
No, I said the downloads have slowed.
Oh, shit. And I've just gone one
You've let
step
the cat
further.
out of the bag, mate. Hey guys, please support the show.
Subscribe us 'cause we're fucked.
Yeah. No, we've
this
had
is good.
a couple of slow months. Let's not beat around the bush. But
Yeah.
anyway, all right. Well, so that's it from us, guys.
Yeah. Next time we'll hear about your code trip.
Yeah,
I'm interested
cool.
in that. It'll be good.
See you next week.
Bye-bye. Alrighty, guys, we hope you enjoyed that show. That was a bit of fun, bit of a catch-up for me and Bill. We haven't seen each other in a couple of weeks, and we're sitting here naked with a martini in hand, so it's great. If you want to listen to us talking some shit like that every week, then you should jump onto iTunes and press the subscribe button. And while you're at it, guys, you can leave us a rating and review. Bill and I love having a read of the reviews. I mostly do it before I go to sleep with my pants off. And Bill tends to do the same thing, only when he's with me, which is kind of strange. But guys, leave us a really funny, wacky review. If you are a long-time listener of the show, you know that we've had a few. So jump on board there, guys. We're sponsored by Quash Creative. Head to www.quashcreative.com for a free basic SEO report on your website, or feedback on your existing brand when you mention Adventure Fit Radio with Mr. Sean Marsh there. Head to www.
You were
I'm
doing
so
well.
shit at it.
You were doing so well.
Head to www.
When you head to mention fit at Adventure Fit Travel.
Adventure Fit Quash.
When you mention fit, Adventure Fit. Oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
Head to www.audibletrial.com/ADVF, guys. Get a free monthly credit when you subscribe there. It's a free credit, that is. Just wanted to reiterate that point.
One credit. Just one credit. Not a monthly credit. Basically, you get Audible for free.
Yeah,
Go through our link and
you
you get it for
literally-
free. You'll get it for free forever.
We're legal. And,
Audible don't know about that, but
yeah.
it's on us, guys. It's on us. It's on the house.
yeah, just go for it. And finally, guys, head to www.audible. Bill,
Audible Fit.
talk about Adventure Fit Travel.
Audible Fit audiobooks. Go
it's
to
late.
www.adventurefittravel.com. Use the code word radio for 10% off any and all trips.
That sounds pretty good to me. Until next week.
Bye.
Discovery Roger, go for deploy.